I know you guys love Pokimane so much. You think she's such a great human being, such a great streamer. Oh my God. Dude, this guy made a 40-minute video shitting on Pokimane and explaining the hate for Pokimane. This is awesome. I cannot wait to see how in-depth we get on why Pokimane is such a unlikable piece of shit.
Tell you, yourself.
Around this time, streaming was mostly about the gameplay and the personality of the streamer.
Sure.
However, in the current day, it's more about clip farming.
Clip farming and being as big of a piece of shit as you possibly can.
You really think I'm capable?
Hey, I got that guy kicked off of OTK top streamer. Insane. Based.
Hey, where's my shake? Shake that ass, drive, drive!
Yeah, I really don't like the destroy your PC, destroy your desktop meta because, like, I feel like streaming has become so unattainable for so many streamers because for me, I remember when it was actually about playing games and it was actually about personality. And now it's just about like, I'm going to go to Antarctica for 1 month during a summit-thon. Can I get $5 million? And I'm like, I mean, okay. I mean, I guess people will watch that, but what people don't realize is those streamers are not going to last long term. They're just not, because their content is unsustainable, right? It is. It's cool for a little bit, but long term, it's really just not going to work out. And honestly, I'm already tired of it, bro. Like, I watched the Ludwig subathon, and that was like the most extreme content I wanted to see, was somebody being live for like over a month. Like, I was like, oh, wow, what's he going to do next? But these days, I don't give a fuck anymore about all these like, oh, dude, what if I blow up this? Like, oh my God, Kai Cenat Mafia-thon 3. Or if I get $5 million, guys, I'll get a haircut. I have subathon fatigue. I do. I have a I'm going to go to Antarctica. I'm going to go to this nation fatigue. I just don't care. I really don't care. Like, a speed stream, I checked out his Africa tour a little bit just to see if my racism was correct, and it was. But other than that, I really don't care. You know what would interest me? Like Asmongold taking a shower. You know what I mean? Like, that would be cool. But other than that, like, I just don't give a fuck about this shit. Everything's Mr. Beastified. Exactly. Everything's Mr. Beastified. It's just annoying at this point.
Darren!
It's more about drama.
XQC is like Jekyll and Hyde, because who XQC is on stream is like a really brash person.
Hey, Tectone mentioned. Big W.
Isn't it Jekyll and Hyde, not Jekyll and Hyde? English major, by the way.
True.
And it's more about producing pure rage bait, so that clip, like clip farming, is then taken from your stream and spread throughout the internet.
Well, the problem is that like, that's not rage bait content. That's W community content. And like, the reality is the W community started back when the Poggers community, like, you know, like it is an infantile stage, right? The W community, everybody knows, is a bunch of 12 and 13-year-old black kids. Everybody knows it, right? And all they do is spam www all fucking stream. Kai Cenat started the W community, really popularized the W community. And everybody's been clout chasing off Kai Cenat, so everybody's been trying to mimic what his chat does. And then now, well, you know, like feminism leads to Bonnie Blue, the W community that Kai Cenat started leads to streamers like Rakai, right? Like, this isn't rage bait content. It's just, this is what pandering to that type of content creates. People like Rakai. It's just scary reality, isn't it?
People will openly criticize you and judge your character, even though it was probably intentional and maybe even staged for that desired effect.
Lacey's content is all rage bait.
Your account has been deactivated. L Lacey, that poor guy's gonna be broke now. Bro, send him like 250.
Okay. 250, bro. What? At least 5. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not sending him $500.
Bro, you
huh?
You this
okay, but he knew the risk giving someone his DoorDash account.
Yeah, but I told him you were gonna be a regular fucking dasher.
Was I not?
Bro, you were eating the food, you fucking fatty.
Okay, I had a little snack.
And the result of this is free publicity and an increase in hate watchers, both benefiting you until in some cases...
I mean, what are you expecting watching like FaZe content and W community content. Like, I'm sorry, like, I think if you identify in a community, you're already retarded. Like, if you think, oh, I'm only gonna watch phase streamers, phase up. Or if you're like, oh, I'm only gonna watch OTK streamers. Oh, I'm only gonna watch the W community. You're just retarded. Watch who you like. You know, like, don't watch, oh, I'm gonna watch this guy because he's the new hot talk of the town. Fuck that. I mean, this shit is corny as fuck. I don't know who gets entertained by this, but the other reality is a lot of these streamers are all fake engagement bots anyways, and people will think, oh, this person has more viewers. That must mean they're more entertaining, when in reality, a lot of this shit is just astroturf.
It gets too much to the point where people take the bait way too
I am part of the bald community.
seriously, and maybe they start preying on your downfall or even threatening your life, and results in you having to come clean and break both the character and the illusion that it's organic to tell people that you were just doing it for content for your own safety.
But yeah, I just got a weird, it's a weird threat. Like, normally it's the normal shit like, oh, self, or, oh, I'm gonna find you and murder you. But this one was just a little different. I don't know how to explain it. It was just a little different.
This is just how streaming is nowadays. But what if, stay with me now, if there was a streamer that's been streaming for well over a decade, they've been very successful in their streaming career, they're actually known throughout the streaming space, but they've also had their fair share of controversies, they've said things that sometimes don't make sense or contradict what they've previously stated.
And we hate the rich. Anyways. Too much.
Aren't you the rich?
No!
Based.
Like,
I was having a conversation with a buddy about this yesterday, and chat, let me know if you understand me. If someone watches Pokimane just to jerk off and come, I'm like, okay, I get it. But if someone watches Pokimane because they think she's based and they enjoy her content, I wouldn't talk to them. You know what I mean? Like, there's at a point where, like, if people are watching some of these female streamers because they're trying to jerk off, I'm like, all right, that's less weird than them saying, oh, I just watch Pokimane because I just think she's a really funny streamer. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, who's the person waking up who's just watching a Pokimane stream because they like their content? Like, that's weird. That, like, dude, I can name like 100 female streamers who are like, bro, you're watching them for their content. There's just no way. Like, I'm convinced that people treat Twitch like Chatterbait. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that people treat female streamers like Chatterbait, and they donate money to them, and when they read their donation, they blow their load. That's less weird than people watching these people like, oh, I just think that Pokimane is just really funny. That's weird as fuck to me, bro. That you're weird. You're weird. Like genuinely, if a guy, a straight white male came up to you and said, Pokimane's my favorite streamer, I wouldn't talk to him. Genuinely, I would not talk to them. There's just no way. There's no way. You're either a liar or a fat. Pick one. Because there's no way. I don't believe you, bro. I do not believe you. There's no way. Am I crazy for that? I doubt they'd be able to walk up to me, roll on their electronic scooter maybe. I got no idea what you're talking about. Anyways, back at it.
the ultra rich, the ultra giga rich.
And you cannot tell if what they say and do they mean, or it's just really successful rage bait. But
I don't understand how content creators are being successful by just being the worst human beings alive.
either way, it's produced a similar effect regardless, where people regularly express their somewhat disdain for them. People will clip anything said that can be deemed even remotely controversial to profit on the hate for them. And another thing which is common on the internet right now, which is if they happen to be even remotely close to the supposed ancient age of 30, they will be constantly reminded of that fact, and by that time they should have had a significant other, kids, and weirdly enough that their eggs are close to expiring.
Bro, I'm gonna be real. Like, the internet thinks so many of these women are ever truthful about their age. They're just liars. At least Valkyrie's like truthful about it. You know, like, everybody knows Valkyrie's fucking 34. 34, by the way. But I actually don't know a single female streamer who is not lying about their age by at least 3 years. I maybe know, okay, no, I know one who's not lying about their age, but every other female streamer is lying about their age by at least 3 years. And I know, and this was so funny, there was even a streamer who lied about their age that everybody thought was 23 when the bitch was 31. And they were saying they were 23.
Yeah, they're hated that much. Maybe the internet was a mistake. But that streamer and content creator I vaguely described is Pokimane. Someone that a few years ago actually had an overwhelmingly positive reputation, but in the current year, it's drastically changed.
Does Pokimane deserve the hate? Yes. Pokimane is the most justifiably hateable person on the internet of the female sex. Hassan is the #1 for males. Pokimane is the #1 for females. We all know it.
Changed to the point where it appears there's more hate for her than anything else, and day by day it only gets worse. But before we get into why she's hated, the controversies that may have brought about said hate, and
Bro, she berated her audience for being too poor to buy her shitty fucking cookies.
if she deserves the hate,
And
we
it wasn't
first
a
need
skit.
to know who Pokimane is.
Ugh.
There's a reason it's called compulsive masturbator. It's not like something. I
Okay,
can just stop
listen.
doing, you know what I mean?
Listen, bro. You have a legitimate issue. Go see a doctor. Like a dude with a legit PhD. That ain't me.
So Pokimane, or Amin Anis, was born on the 14th of May 1996 in the
Allegedly.
country of Morocco. Now, not a lot is known about her earlier life, except she would move from Morocco to Quebec, Canada at the age of 4, which I imagine must have been terrible with the average resident of Quebec not only speaking French, but also speaking
Best.
barely translatable English. You're probably better off trying to communicate with the inhabitants of the North Sentinel Island, who have been isolated from other humans and the world for at least 30,000 years, than trying to communicate with any Quebecian that claims they speak English.
No, yeah. I've heard that, but I've seen some of these documentaries. I ain't believe none of that. Hey, the game government ain't no getting no one in the mass sample, no give my 3D.
I have no idea what the fuck you're saying right now.
There's no way that wasn't a bit. There's just no way. I don't believe it, bro. No way.
But slander to the side, Amin would make
I can't even translate that. Me, as XQC's main translator, I don't even know what the fuck he said there.
her start on the internet in June of 2013 at around the age of 17, where she would create her account on the Twitch platform and begin streaming under the guise of wanting to find other people that also played games, as in her own words she didn't know anybody or have anyone to play with in her entire city. She began streaming the same time she created the account, going under the name Pokimane, which apparently was a name produced by mixing her name with the name of the Pokemon franchise. I am surprised Nintendo hasn't sued her yet with their
True.
track record. At the start of her
True.
streaming career, she would mainly stream League of Legends whilst also still being in high school, and around this time is when one of her infamous moments would occur that is still brought up to this day,
True.
which was her ripping the N-word whilst playing League of Legends because a person in her chat said her stream was boring.
Oh my god, well, like, I'm not a girl, so I can't get as many viewers as... Nick, you ain't...
Why are you censoring it? Come on! It's just a word! Who cares? Why are we censoring it?
funny. That's not true. Maybe you're just boring as fuck and lame as hell. Cause only lame say that shit.
This is the only base clip Pokimane has ever had, man. She was, dude, I wish she was still like this. Then she would actually be cool, bro. So lame.
Sorry, getting mad.
This would be a clip that would forever haunt Pokimane in the future, mainly used whenever she spoke out about racism.
Ever racist.
True.
I have no prior history of any racist behavior.
There it is.
But years later, she would give
There
an
it is.
excuse for this, saying she was still young, she didn't mean it in a derogatory way, and it was a different time back then. Which, to speak on the last point, she wasn't really wrong. Take one step into a MW2 lobby around that time, and you'd probably be educated on a slur for almost every ethnicity. But
Don't
despite
excuse her, bro. Hey, she said the N-word. According to the people that she panders to, that makes her worse than Hitler.
her reasoning, it is still brought up to this day, even if it is now over 2 decades old. But back to the start of her career, she would only really stream League of Legends, something she continued to do for the next few years, even when she had graduated from high school and began studying chemical engineering at McMaster University in Ontario. Poki would always find some time to stream from her dorm room whilst attending classes, sometimes back to back and enduring 9 to 12 hour days, apparently just so she could get some spare time to maintain her streaming schedule, which resulted in her building her audience and platform to the point where in 2015 she was making enough money to pay for things like her school by herself. And she was also getting recognised by Twitch, getting her own area for fan meetups at TwitchCon. Around this time, people were not only watching her for the League content, but also for Pokimane, the personality behind the gameplay from the win.
The personality. People are watching her for her personality. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's why she only has one relevant clip in the past 10 years of her being based, and then every other clip of her is her being a unlikable, miserable, fraudulent piece of shit. Yeah, man. People are watching for her personality. It's either her being a horrendous piece of shit or it's her shaking her ass. That's it.
She would interact with people in her chat.
Yeah, I read Playboy magazine for the articles. Yeah, okay.
To her segments like Dr. Perky, where she would speak directly to people in her chat and try to solve their problems, which resulted in some weird interactions like this.
So my second issue is I'm a compulsive masturbator, right?
I bet she loved hearing that. Man, I can't believe the first time Pokimane talked to her viewers, a guy told her that he compulsively masturbates to her. What a shock.
I masturbate fucking like 10 times a day. You know what I mean? I don't know how to stop. I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you had this issue. You know what I mean? Like, I'm asking advice.
Can't say I've ever had that issue, but
Okay, let's not kid ourselves. At least one person watching that stream was choking the chicken.
I would hope that more people were doing that, because if you're actually watching Pokimane for Pokimane, I'm shocked.
Interaction was the only evidence I needed. And the only evidence I need that you're going to develop your next heroin-like addiction is with the sponsor of today's video.
And I bet it, oh dude, I love War Thunder. I'm gonna go download it using code royalty is here right now.
To the point where it looks like this streaming thing could work out. And she was also making a decent chunk of change doing it. But she was still a student. In fact, she had just finished her second year of her chemical engineering degree, and she only had one more year left, where after she could freely explore her options from there. But feeling as though this opportunity wouldn't last much longer, she would decide to put her degree on hold and take a gap year to try out streaming full time. Something her parents didn't exactly agree with, but after seeing her revenue and reassuring them if things didn't work out she would only be missing a year of school, they were.
And if only Pokimane knew, if things didn't work out, she'd just become a professional online prostitute and make an OnlyFans. Woo!
Somewhat fine with it.
Through my last year, and I streamed part-time, and then I said, fuck this shit, I'm out 2 years into my chemical engineering degree.
Damn, what did your parents say?
Well, honestly, I kind of, I was like, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. I did a PowerPoint. I was like, look at my income.
I bet you in 5 years, Pokimane makes an OnlyFans. I don't know if there's one of those gambling sites where you can bet money on that. I guarantee you. This bitch falls off, realizes she has no skills, and then she has to whore out. Even more. I would argue that 90% of top female streamers are gonna have to do that in the next 10 years.
He's doing this. Look at my college debt. He's doing this.
Damn.
And the result of this was that she would never be returning to school or finish her degree, because her streaming career would start to skyrocket at the start of 2017. She would now be averaging over 3,000 concurrent viewers, a figure that would only continue to grow in tandem with the launch of games like Fortnite.
I have been a streamer for nearly 8 years. I have never met someone who said that they were an Emmy viewer or a Cine viewer or a Pokimane viewer, right? I have never met any viewer that ever said that this female streamer is my favorite streamer, and they weren't just weird fucking losers. Like, I'm just being completely honest. Not a casual viewer, but when they say this female streamer is my favorite streamer, and they're like a dude, I have never met one that was not weird as fuck. And I'm also going to be honest, in the same vein, I have never met someone who said Asmongold is my favorite viewer that wasn't actually just a good, kind person. And you know what the weird thing is? You know where I meet the most Asmongold viewers? In the gym. That's what's weird as shit to me. Like, I don't know why so many Asmon viewers are in the gym. But like, I meet my viewers in the gym, Asmon viewers in the gym. I've also, unironically, I have never met a single person who has told me that they watch Hassan. I did date one person who was a massive Hassan viewer. I'm not going to say which one that is. You guys can figure that out. One of my exes was a massive Hassan simp. I'm not going to say who that is, but one of them was. That was weird. But other than that, I have never met a Hassan viewer. Ever. I have never even met one. I've never even met one. I don't believe that they're real.
It's Battle Royale.
What the hell?
Poki began streaming Fortnite at its peak alongside League of Legends, which would result in her viewership exploding, and she would receive over 450,000 followers just that year.
The main reason that I've heard people say they watch female streamers is because they just feel comforted having a woman talk to them. Which, I'm sorry, bro. I hate how I'm gonna have to be the guy to say this. That's weird as fuck.
Around this time, she would also get the opportunity to become one of the founding members of a content creation group called Offline TV, alongside other large streamers like Lily Pichu.
Side note, it's confirmed that Lily Pichu has been faking her voice for a decade. Actually insane that she has unironically been faking her voice for 10 years. And she has to do that every single time she goes live. It's like black people when they speak in hood speak, or like gay people when they use the gay voice. They've been faking it their whole life.
Gara and Pokelols. Although a lot of the founding members...
Pokelols, this fat, retarded schizophrenic, was a part of Offline TV? What the fuck were they thinking inviting this drug-abusing junkie? Do y'all remember when Poke was like actually funny? I always love the casual marijuana users that just become like they can't function in life without marijuana. Like, you're actually pathetic if you can't function without weed. Like, good lord, what a pathetic existence.
Members would eventually leave, resulting in Lily Pichu and Skara being the only surviving founding members.
That's crazy.
Pokimane would move to LA following the decision to join Offline TV, and around the beginning of 2018, she would win the Shorty Award for Streamer of the Year. From the outside, things were going very well for Pokimane. She was now averaging over 10,000 viewers per stream, a number that would still only continue to grow, and she would also see success on other platforms like YouTube, eventually reaching over 1 million subscribers. However, towards the end of 2018 is where people would begin to question Pokimane's character, as since she was getting popular, she had started to somewhat refine her on-stream behavior and image as a whole compared to previous years, and people were beginning to wonder if she truly was this wholesome and kind person she had built her brand on, or was it all fake?
You can say this about 99% of streamers on the entire platform. I'm sorry. It is the truth. So many people build their reputation on just being fraudulent, fake fucks. Everybody knows it.
A sentiment,
well, at least you'd hope,
that would continue to grow as the years went on, and as she...
See, nobody watches my stream and thinks I'm some wholesome good boy. They know I'm a piece of shit, but I'm their piece of shit, and they at least value the fact that they know that what you see is what you get.
Surrounded herself in more and more controversies. But said sentiment or opinion wasn't widespread at this point. It would first take a number of smaller events before it got to that level. The first sign of criticism against Pokimane, as mentioned, would start in late 2018. And it was another thing which still follows her around to this day, even though from the outside it appeared like a fairly wholesome act. And this event was her going on stream without makeup, which I
want to fucking puke.
Stream had the objective of showing women it's okay to feel comfortable in their own skin, but it just led to
I'm gonna vomit, bro. Imagine your beauty being washed off with a fucking shower.
people taking a screenshot of a
That's what you're simping for? That's what your tier 3 subscriptions are going towards? North African mid? Jesus, bro. God damn. What the fuck is that?
single frame and waving it around, with most saying she was catfishing her audience with how
True.
different she looked with and without
Facts.
makeup. She would respond to this basically saying she's comfortable in her own skin and provides more pictures
Yeah, comfortable in her own skin. Quickly puts 10 pounds of mud back on her face. Uses 3 filters. Shut the fuck up.
from better angles without makeup, but still to this day this image tends to pop up whenever Pokimane lands herself in controversy,
Facts.
and this was one of the first times she would see such a large amount of hate, and it was one of the handful of
Deserved.
times she would actually have a somewhat good response, which wouldn't just result in her getting even more hate. But then almost straight after that, at the beginning of 2019, we had the Pokimane copyright situation where people really started to question her character. So basically she had a public Twitter argument with everybody's favourite gnome, Keemstar.
Everybody type in the chat, Alex is a stupid...
This was over Keemstar saying how SS Sniper Wolf must Photoshop her pictures, and he proceeded to point and laugh at her fans that were defending her after he said this, and Pokimane would get involved at this point defending the fans, which just resulted in a back and forth of both of them sending videos at each other over Twitter, with Keem calling her fake and
What happened to Keemstar, man? I used to love Keemstar's content. Did bro blow up, or like what happened to him? Only streamers that value, or ones who don't care what people say about them, and ones that don't need income from streaming, thus are genuine. I absolutely agree. So many streamers are bought. It's insane. He retired because he fell off. He's chilling. He's still posting drama alerts. He's doing stuff on Twitter. Okay, I get you. So he made his money and he's done. I get you.
Pokimane saying he's hateful. However, by the end of it, both would delete the responses and move on. But someone had archived the entire interaction and uploaded it to YouTube, which was actually the type of content they were known for, and this was Boblax, who I know just by mentioning their name in the current years like scraping a chalkboard, but this was before their whole controversy. But with Pokimane seeing this archive of the entire interaction, she would then choose to commit one of the cardinal sins of YouTube, which is abusing the copyright system and getting the video taken down. Which many at the time thought it was because it didn't show her in the best light and perhaps contradicted her on-stream image. Boblax would make a statement on this saying she had abused the copyright system. This of course gained a lot of traction.
I guess we can call her Mr. Pokimane.
And resulted in
Knowers know.
Getting a lot of shit. Even PewDiePie got involved, saying taking down a video covering your drama just causes a Streisand effect and leads to more people shitting on you.
Somewhat understand the motivation of trying to take down that video, but the problem here is that you're just drawing more attention to it.
True.
It's the
It's called the Streisand effect.
Streisand effect every single time.
And around the same time, making this situation worse was another instance where she was basically threatening to take down another channel's videos that was taking clips of her stream because she thought they weren't transformative enough. But for context, these videos had somewhat wild thumbnails and titles, but at the time this clip did not help her case.
Edit videos and actually put effort into it and make it more entertaining for the viewer. Like, wow, I'm so sorry that it takes you a lot of time to steal other people's content. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god, no.
And put it together. I'm so sorry that it takes... I'll be taking down some of your videos, but yeah, I just hope you stop doing this.
With that said,
you can tell by the way that she responds that she's such an entitled, unlikable bitch. It's so obvious, man.
Some people made the point that she's saying his videos are not transformative enough, but here she was reacting to other people's videos on her stream and not really providing much of an input.
I'm sorry, is this not just the exact same Saint Tontas Mr. Pokey drama? Mr. Pokey copyright strikes Saint Tontas for turning a 20-minute video into an hour and a half and saying it's not transformative enough. And then Pokey, Mr. Pokey, has tons of hours of videos of him just reacting while eating food. It's the exact same thing. I still can't believe that people did not call out Mr. Pokey for that. And I'll be real. I lost so much respect for so many gacha creators from that one instance because they can't put their blind hatred for Saint Tontas aside that they actually said that Mr. Pokey was in the right, to where I have not interacted with the gacha community at all since then, because I realize so many people are delusional, brainwashed idiots. Do you not know how to think unless someone tells you what to think? It's like a cult.
It came off as a bit hypocritical. The criticism eventually reached a point where she could not ignore it, and she would respond to the drama 2 months later. By 1, talking privately to Boblax, and 2, issuing an apology video which currently is no longer available. In the video, she basically said she took down Boblax's video because it was getting a lot of traction and she just wanted the drama to be over with, and she was wrong in thinking that would work. And the apology was going well till she said she was well within her right to do so, and then saves herself by saying it was not morally okay to do it. Talk about a roller coaster of an apology.
So, Boblax strung together all the tweets and videos from Twitter and just re-uploaded it to YouTube with no editing or commentary or voiceover. That video was getting a lot of traction at the time, and just being completely honest with you guys, I kind of wanted to be over with all the petty drama. Although I was legally within my right to take down the video, morally and as a content creator, it wasn't something that I should have done, because I mean, at the end of the day, those were tweets that me and Keem made publicly and videos that we made publicly.
But ultimately the situation was over. She spoke to Boblax, she somewhat apologised, but this was one of her first major controversies and the first thing that made people somewhat cautious when trusting Pokimane. And it wouldn't be long till the next situation occurred and had almost the same effect. But now it was 2020 and Pokimane was doing very well. People had moved on from the previous drama and she was reaching new heights in her career, especially with the new Among Us phase and the newly announced Valorant. Remember that? That was...
I missed the Among Us phase, man. It was so fucking good.
COVID really did backdoor our brains. Poku was now comfortably averaging over 20,000 viewers per...
I, for the hope of my own sanity and my hope for humanity, I hope to God she's view botted, because if she's not, good lord, the world is pathetic.
Stream, and sometimes she peaked at over 100,000 concurrent.
I mean, jeez, please God be view bots. Please, for the love of God, be view bots.
Viewers. And this still wasn't even her peak. Also around this time was when the term
Stop slamming your toilet seat. Sorry, I was RPing that I was Hassan petting Kaya.
simp was being heavily used, which is a word used when describing someone that shows excessive devotion towards someone or something. And
bro, and then Twitch banned the word simp. Good lord. They legit just pander to prostitutes. That's all they do.
And in the context of the internet, they would mainly use this when describing the dedicated viewers of female streamers, because supposedly they were stereotypically a lot more diehard and would defend the streamer more than the average chatter of a male streamer. Of course, this led to people labeling the average Pokimane watcher as a simp, which is something she would later comment on, somewhat defending her audience. But piggybacking off the rise of the word simp was a video by It's a Gundam, and it heavily involved fans of Pokimane, including one fan that apparently donated their savings to Pokimane.
I'm kind of short on savings, but I'll definitely get 500 to drop this week, laughing my ass off. Hope she sees this and knows I love and miss her.
Fucking
XD.
insane. Also, It's a Gundam is based as fuck.
This would result in Pokimane reacting to that video because it heavily featured criticism of her and her audience, and she wouldn't have the best response to it, saying some of these cases or simps aren't actually donating this much money, and she doesn't like that he is making fun of her audience.
I'm so sorry. It is insanely hard to take this person seriously. That is like dressed up as a VR person, not showing their faces. Which, you know what? That's his choice.
Oh, so we're sitting on every VTuber, huh, Pokimane? Oh, so I guess you don't like Iron Mouse? Well, I guess you put out a public statement. Oh, wait! It's like you shit and defame people until you realize the very same people you frequent with, and then you realize, oh, wait, I'm retarded. I accidentally said my own feelings. Jesus. Fake-ass bitch.
But you're also falling for this very obvious bait? Oh no. Literally just nice random people that are taking a photo of me. Or a photo with me. That's...
Yeah, the people who were real, who literally donated all of their savings to you and hope that you notice them again. Bro, shut the fuck up.
Nah, freaking cool, dude.
She overall just didn't like the video.
Not cool for giving an accurate representation of reality, bro. That's a low blow.
But the problem was that she then goes on a rant which from the outside was perceived as her directing her audience to dislike the video.
People like this stop is if people like me and my community give them feedback that this is not an okay thing to do.
There it
Not
is.
attack them, but I hit a little dislike and I say, this not cool. And if you think something is not okay and you want to see less of it, you also have to give feedback because
This is a very, very obvious way to attempt to brigade someone while acting like you're still morally virtuous. Such a fraudulent piece of shit. It's so incredibly obvious to anyone with open eyes.
that's how YouTubers work.
In the outcome of this, It's a Gundam's video gets bombarded and he even loses a big sponsorship deal that he was working on.
There it is.
I had a sponsorship kind of lined up with like a big video game company.
There it is.
Yeah, that kind of went. So I hope you're happy, folks.
This led to another wave of criticism for Poki, and considering it was so soon after the previous controversy, people assumed either she had not learned her lesson or that she could not handle criticism properly, which resulted in even more people questioning.
Wow, are you entitled? Are you telling me that a selfish, entitled bitch who gets her self-satisfaction and gratification from thousands of simps on the internet actually ended up being entitled and retarded? I'm shocked. Are you telling me that these streamers, where all they do is stream and interact with other streamers, have a warped worldview? Oh my God, I'm shocked. I can't believe that these people, where all they do is go live and get glazed and do nothing else, have a warped worldview. I can't believe it. Oh my God. Color me shocked.
Her character at that point. But after getting a lot of backlash, she would apologize personally to It.
Apologize because she was forced to, not because she wanted to.
It's a Gundam and make another apology video, also addressing other claims at the time, and it was supposedly all water under the bridge after this.
I want to sincerely apologize to both It's a Gundam and to the sponsor of that video for the remarks and comments that I made.
Despite these setbacks, she was still doing very well. She still averaged thousands of viewers and even debuted as a VTuber for like 3 streams.
And then they realized the content wasn't jerk-offable enough, so she had to go back.
And then went back to being a fleshy. She would see her overall peak in 2022, and around the same time she would eventually leave her place at offline TV to pursue other things. But she was at the top of her game. Most people on the internet knew her name. And the support she would...
Also, how apropos was it a woman to say, oh, LOL, XD, I lost you tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars and ruined your life forever, but I'm sorry, please forgive me. No actions towards Poki, no punishment at all. Holy fuck. We truly live in a gynocentric society. It is pathetic.
...was receiving around this time was overwhelming. It took her 7 years and a gamble to reach this point, and it was a resounding success. That is a basic version of how Pokimane got to where she is today and some of the events along the way. But as she's grown, so has some of the resentment and distrust for her, because going past 2023, it's now reached a point where it's common to see hate for her, and it speaks louder than any good things being
Also based WestJet, love that guy.
said about her. And it's probably due to a build-up over time with the controversy surrounding her as she grew, and key points like her cookie situation, because past that point is where the criticism for her really became mainstream. But what are said critiques surrounding her, and why is she so
I've been shitting on Pokimane since day one. Real one here, by the way.
hated?
Are like, oh my God, $28 for cookies? It's 4 bags, $7 a bag. I know, math is hard. Like, if you're a broke boy, just say so.
So one of the main critiques Pokimane faces is that the so-called persona she shows on most of her streams, where she's used
Persona, aka all the things that I say that get me into shit are my persona. But whenever I look good, that's the real me.
usually this wholesome, kind and quiet person, is all fake, and this is just a mask she wears on stream to be perceived in a good light. But if we were being honest, a lot of streamers probably are putting on acts or are creating characters they will only show on stream. There are very few streamers you can confidently say aren't, and even then you don't know them personally, so you wouldn't know if they are. But more so with Pokimane, people didn't think that she was this nice person she constantly represented, and it was commonly stated it was all fake. because there has been moments throughout her career these critics point to where this apparent mask slips, and in their eyes she shows her true character. Some of these moments I have already mentioned, like with the Boblax and It's a Gundam situation. In one she tried to silence drama, which just made it worse, and in the other she reacted poorly to a video criticizing her and her.
It's weird, this whole Boblax situation that keeps on being brought up, Boblax, it's weird because usually the way that she got in the viewership situation was by having her back blown.
Fan base. But there are more recent events people have pointed to, like what happened surrounding the XQC Kick contract, where XQC was offered a huge amount of money, with the claimed figure being 100 million, in which most of it by now has probably been put into a slot machine knowing him, and this deal was so that he would stream on Kick. This wasn't even an exclusivity deal. He could stream on both Twitch and Kick as long as he hit his required amount of streamed hours on Kick. Now Kick is owned by Stake, a company mainly known for gambling, which around 2020
I think if Kick didn't sign XQC, they would be much worse off than they are now. I think it was very smart money. XQC really made Kick.
23, gambling in the streaming space was being heavily criticized, with the argument being that streaming gambling would encourage the streamer's audience to do it, and it could result in younger, more impressionable viewers getting addicted or losing a significant amount of money. This eventually...
Doug, I said it once, I'll say it again. I got no reason to say this. If I get offered a gambling sponsorship, I'm taking that shit. I don't care, bro. If I played Gotcha for 6 years, I already knew I ruined everybody's life. Okay? Hey, and I'll say it, man. Gambling fun. Yep. Hey, I just went to Vegas the other day. I lost 2.5K so quick. If you don't know gambling is retarded already, there's no saving you. Sorry, man.
It led to Twitch at the time banning gambling, which also resulted in a lot of these gambling streamers moving to Twitch's competitor, Kick. Now, with XQC being offered 100 million generational wealth, even his great-grandchildren will be able to buy at least 2 sticks of DDR.
He ain't gonna have children. All that money's gonna go back to the government. That's why I don't give a fuck about any of these streamers who are multi-millionaires. $100 million, $150 million. They've completely obsessed. They've lost all hope for any type of normalcy life. That money will go back to the government. That's all, because they will have no one. That is the truth. They will have no one. They will die alone. That is the reality. I don't envy these people's lives because they don't have one to begin with. Sorry, it is what it is.
5 RAM, which will probably be the biggest flex in the future with how RAM prices are right now. But this was a lot of money with a requirement he was already happy doing. So a lot of other streamers would understand why he would take the deal, and a lot of people congratulated him on it. But Pokimane, someone that had previously been somewhat buddy-buddy with XQC, upon hearing about this would not congratulate him from what I saw, and instead would go on a rant about how Twitch could shut down Kick at any point, which was a claim that was wrong. That would be Amazon's web service, and I'm pretty sure that would violate their user agreement.
Kick makes Twitch money. Like, Kick is using Twitch's services. And if Twitch really wanted, they could just stop giving these services to Kick.
This is what happens when you tell a woman that their shit doesn't stink their entire fucking life. They think that they can actually say things out of their mouth that make fucking sense. Well, like, what the fuck are you even saying? Like, I mean, look at her smile. Bro thinks that she's spinning right now. This is what happens when you have an audience of glazers, and that's it.
But right now, they're just sitting back like, thanks, I guess.
And around the start
Bro should have waited for Asmongold to talk before making an opinion.
of another stream, upon being asked if she would ever take a deal herself, she responds in a bit of a self-righteous way, saying,
or in her case, probably Hassan,
she would never compromise her morals, and it's cringe, and people would think she was referring to XQC and his big deal around this time.
No, and it's not because I got like $10 million. It's just because I'm good as I am. Why would I compromise my morals and ethics for more money when I have money? Something about...
I love all these streamers who are like, oh, I would never compromise my morals for $10 million. Chat, you would punch your child in the fucking face for $10 million. And you know what? Your family would tell you that you were based for it. You would slap your wife in the fucking mouth for $10 million. And your family and your loved ones would say, I am so glad you did that. These streamers who spit in the face of money to seem like they are morally righteous are the most fraudulent pieces of shit. Bro, I would slap Pokimane for a cheeseburger. Okay? Money's hard to get. Okay, when it rains, you need to put out a fucking bucket because eventually the rain will stop. When you have an opportunity to make money like that, you do that shit.
That is so cringe to me personally. Like, I understand, you know, if you need to make money, for me to do cringe shit when I have I can't. Like, ew.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Pokimane open an OnlyFans and her have this clip thrown back in her face.
This would result in both of them getting into a call and presenting both of their points, which didn't solve anything.
Well, basically...
Remember how I told you that Pokimane needed to wait for Hassan before she made her opinion? What did I tell you? She literally needs a fucking translator to get her out of the situation. I cannot believe I called that shit.
Hassan, we're kind of done talking about me being a snake, so I think it's time we talk about you being a snake. Take it away, X.
Okay, well, I want.
But what made it worse, and one of the main points people used that she is fake, was when previously when streamers were congratulating XQC.
Also, side note, that wasn't the first time that Pokimane had two dudes on opposite sides of her.
One streamer who is associated with Pokimane, who did publicly congratulate XQC on his deal. For some reason, Poki would send them a message and question why she would congratulate him.
I tweeted, congrats to XQC and Kick, because I think it's like a win-win situation for both parties. And she...
Yeah, it won't be the last either.
She reached out and she was like, I was kind of surprised that you were publicly supporting it. And...
Oh wow, the other Pokimane weighs in with her retarded ass opinions on XQC. What a shock! Boy, that one's actually dating Hassan. Not a shock.
Crypto gambling, it promotes gambling.
But to be fair, the streamer that claims this does actually add more context when this clip blew up, defending Pokimane. Eventually the drama would be over, but a lot of people question why she would insert herself into this situation and why she reacted the way she did, especially with someone that she had previously associated with, but this would be a situation referenced with this criticism. Another case referred to, and one that was probably her biggest fumble, which I personally think played an integral role in where her reputation and public standing is to this day, and that was with the cookie situation, where she worked with a company to release a cookie that was claimed to be a healthy snack alternative called Miana. Now, people noticed a lot of problems with the cookie. One, it almost had exactly the same values and looked almost like another brand, and two, it was very expensive just for one bag.
Buy from the store, how much would it cost?
Yeah, no, $14. So it's $14 without shipping. Yeah, without shipping.
No.
Yeah.
That can't be right.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That's so bad.
And three, people said they tasted pretty bad. But with the first point on the launch, people would go...
I'm a very fair, unbiased individual, and when I am biased, it's very easy for me to put those aside. I've tried the cookies, they were good. They just weren't $7 a fucking bag good. Right? No, the cookies were good. They were. But they're just not, you know, ridiculously overpriced cookie good. They were like $1 good, not $7 good. If someone gave me a McDonald's cheeseburger for $2, damn, that shit tastes great. If someone gave me a McDonald's cheeseburgers for $14, I would say, what the fuck, this shit is ass.
To her chat and say, you know, these cookies are a bit overpriced, which led to a response which is another one of Pokimane's infamous clips, which once again still follows her around to this day.
Like, oh my god, $28 for cookies? It's 4 bags. That's $7 a bag. I know math is hard when you're an idiot.
That's pre-tax, by the way. So the bags ended up being somewhere around $8.50 to $9.30, depending on where you live.
But, like, if you're a broke boy, just say so. Anyway.
What the fuck was that?
Now this clip would blow up, even Moist Critical made a video on it. She would later say this was a joke, but some would point to her previously having the same attitude days prior. Regardless if this was a joke, the internet had cast their judgment, and this on top of many other situations I've mentioned, would be used as evidence towards the point that Pokimane can't take criticism, and that there are moments where she reacts in a way that contradicts the image she's built up over the years, that leads to people coming to the conclusion that her personality is fabricated or unorganic. The next common critique about Pokimane is that she is performative, which is a word heavily being used in the current year, and for a content creator, being called performative probably has the same effect as being called a slur. But people
Or a grifter. People love that word.
People think Pokimane often makes claims or says things because that is the current thing, and she doesn't actually fully believe in what she's saying, and a lot of times people claim it's just virtue signaling. A key example people recently use is when on stream she ranted about the rich and how she hates the rich, which some thought was a bit hypocritical since it's estimated she is very wealthy herself, and of course people would bring up her very expensive cookies, even using it to counter a previous point she made about capitalism. But in that moment she does clarify she's talking about the ultra rich, not rich people like her, which did not save her from any criticism. Overall, a rich person talking about how they hate the rich, even if it is the giga rich, can be viewed as more ironic than anything, and it did not have the desired effect.
The wage gap, I hate that shit.
No, wealth disparity.
Wealth disparity.
Wage gap is like between men and women. Men and women, we love each other.
Facts.
And we hate the rich. Anyways.
Aren't you the rich?
No! Like the
Pokey.
ultra rich, the ultra giga rich, the unnecessarily
You have to clarify.
rich.
People also point to how sometimes she will tweet about things like in this now deleted tweet, where she says how she missed when streaming was about gaming and not just drama baiting, and
So like everything she does every stream, that's crazy, right?
clip farming, in which people would remind her she's been in a few dramas and initiated some when she didn't really need to. People
Facts.
also refer to this comment she made in an interview where she says streaming is too male dominated and there aren't any females.
Do you want to know why that is? Do you want me to give you the cold, bittering reality of why there's so many more male streamers than female streamers? Are you guys ready to hear this? Because I'm gonna say it. And people don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it anyways. That's because male streamers are better. Because men are more entertaining. And a lot of women have lowered the quality of their content because all they are something to goon to. And all they do is boner bait their audience. And that's their entire shtick. Almost every female streamer is boring as shit. They don't do anything. And the only reason why they have an audience is because people are in love with them. And that is it. The reason why there's more male streamers is because they actually have to push to get viewers and they actually have to be entertaining. The reason why there's more successful male streamers is because men are better than women at streaming. That is why. They are funnier. They are smarter. They are wittier on average. Everybody knows this. If you want proof of this, why don't you go watch Chris Rock do stand-up and then watch Amy Schumer do stand-up? Can you name me 5 successful female stand-up comedians? No, because women are not funny. Now that we got that out of the way, hopefully that makes things make a lot more sense. Cool.
Streamers the same size as people like iShowSpeed, which people would admit is true, but point out there wasn't a lot of female streamers doing content like iShowSpeed. And for some it felt like she was discrediting the progress females have made in the streaming space, especially in the last few years. A key example was with VTubers, which, ironically, is female dominated. This is apparently a claim she brings up a lot because this original story was made over a year ago. Yet as recent as 2 months ago, it was brought up again. I'm pretty sure people are just recycling it at this point. But Pokey does make statements like this a lot and they don't always land. Like her comment on believing all victims.
You know what I believe would have been a great tweet? Why don't we believe all facts and evidence rather than saying, I believe all victims? What a fucking retarded, performative ass take. Not even Pokimane. People like Pokimane. It's fucking unbearable, bro. Full-blown retard.
Yep, it was brought up that she was laughing at Amber Heard during her trial when she was supposedly the victim, and when called out on this, she would apologize.
There
I think
it is.
even recently there was another event where she was called a moody socialist billionaire by her chat, and she responds by banning them and saying if she was one, she wouldn't be one for long because she would give away all her money.
I would give away all my money, to all my viewers, and I would frolic in the forest like an elf. Because I'm just such a good person. And when I fart, rainbows and butterflies come out because I'm such a beautiful angel.
I'm a billionaire, you cookie bean. I'm so sorry. If I ever was a billionaire, I wouldn't be a billionaire for more than a day. I would give away most of my money.
And there are other examples people use.
Oh, but even though, you know, she's only a multi-millionaire now, with a net worth of nearly 20 million. Well, we're not a billionaire yet, so she still needs all that 20 million, guys. She still needs all that, right? But if I was a billionaire, yeah. Oh yeah, no, of course. That's why you sold your audience cookies for $7 a bag, right? Yeah, of course.
To claim she's performative.
I'm an immigrant girl. We always feel like we gotta work. Work.
Pokimane immigrated to Canada from Morocco when she was 4 years old, which would be around the year 2000. Okay, so you didn't immigrate shit, your parents did. And besides you studying at a university, you've never had a normal job outside of content creation.
The final reason I found for why people hate Pokimane is simply just down to fatigue. Now, I have said in a previous video, Pokimane finds herself in a controversy or situation once every 3 months, whether it's down to something she says or does. And I think what I said still applies to this day. For some reason recently she proposed to herself and made it a public thing, and the next thing was she started talking about her relationships and how she doesn't need a man, and then she starts doing content with a guy people insist is her boyfriend. And all of this is fine, it's her life, she can do whatever she wants and she can create whatever content she wants.
Let's be real, what's gonna happen is that guy's randomly gonna disappear. She's gonna use it as proof they were never dating, when in reality, that dude's there just to beat, come, and then once he does that about 10 or 15 times, he'll get bored and then he'll leave her ass too. That's the reality.
But indirectly, it's led to fatigue, where people are tired of seeing these arbitrary statements on Twitter or a stunt like her proposing to herself. And these are the only things you really hear about Pokimane nowadays, and it's not all her fault, but people are tired of it. Some claim her openly doing these type of things is because she's going through a midlife crisis or attention seeking. My personal theory, leading to what I said at the start of the video, is that she has the self-awareness to know she's made it in life. She doesn't, from my knowledge, have to worry about important things like her finances, and she knows there's nothing she can do to change anyone's mind regarding her reputation. I mean, at this point she's a lot less apologetic than she was in previous years, where around that time if she saw a ton of backlash she'd make a public statement or apologise, but she doesn't really do that anymore. I think she knows she's only one comment away from a 5'2" Venezuelan homeless.
Yeah! WestJet, get her ass! It's a massive day for the unemployed! Also, fun fact, this drives WestJet nuts. There are sometimes I react to WestJet and it gets more views than WestJet's videos himself. So, hey, trust me, man. Hey, I am another sword, although this one I'm more like a galaxy cannon, to expose the world to their massive hypocrisy using tools like Asmongold and WestJet and Nuxtaku. It's good, man. It's good. It's a great day to be a gangster. Speaking of which, we're about to react to another WestJet right now.
Canadian man making a video on her so he can feed his 5 children.
Yep.
So she plays into it, and I think 2025 onwards, she is just rage baiting people at this point. And
would the internet be shocked to learn that WestJet is actually a 6'6", like 250-pound, jacked Norwegian man who can bench 315 pounds? Would that shock anybody to learn the fact that he's like this fucking jacked boulder of a man? Because that shit blew my mind.
It works so very well, but I may be giving her too much credit. Pokimane right now is at the phase, I assume, where her online career is winding down. She doesn't stream as much as she used to, she doesn't stream to as many people as she used to, she's losing followers on Twitch, and there is a lot of hate out there for her. So I think at this point she's just having fun with it, but that's just my theory.
A game theory!
You want me to take out a gun and blow a fucking hole in your head right here? Right now? You want that?
So in conclusion, does Pokimane deserve the hate she receives? Well, in terms of the criticism she receives, I think she deserves said criticism in some cases, especially in situations where it comes to her responding to things or making comments she doesn't really need to make. And she has done this a lot, which has led to a shift in her reputation over the years. But obviously there are people that take their dislike for her too far, like harassing her and sending weird messages to her. But in terms of general criticism,
I'm pretty sure the people that like her are the ones sending the weirdest messages to her, so I don't know about that take.
I think there is some logic behind it, and I think recently she is rage-baiting people for the love of the game. However, despite this, looking at her career, it's still impressive what she's done in the past decade. No matter what criticism you have for her, you really can't take that achievement away. Once again, thank you to War Thunder for...
Hey, I'm gonna just say it. I love this channel. Royalties here is great. He made a dumbass video on me a couple years back, but he actually apologized for it and said it was just completely out of character. And so I forgive him. Great fucking video. Go give him a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace, boys.